And we are here. Hey, y'all. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy, James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Joining me, as always, my co host, Mrs. Best. She'll be in and out with us, but say what's up to her anyway. Hello, Mrs. Best.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, y'all. She has made it to the building. What's up, Shayna underscore MCD? Oh my goodness. Thank you for catching my live. Missed you. I gotta catch up on your channel too. I'm so sorry. But y'all, these Bravo celebrities, as they like to call themselves, have been acting up this last week. So since I recap all of these shows on my channel, I just decided to do a Bravo little update because we have a lot to talk about. There is so much going on, from lawsuits to people backtracking, colorism comments, if y'all know who I'm talking about. We have people who have decided to leave a franchise after being the longest running housewife. And then we also have two of, I would say, America's favorites, because they're definitely not my favorites, but America's favorite housewives returning back to an old franchise. So we got a lot to cover, y'all.
Just a hot mess.
It just is. So the first thing I want to talk about on this channel, so I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. We're gonna talk about a few different things. I think I want to talk about this first, actually. So, y'all, Candy Burris has decided to leave Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all, I can't say I'm surprised, but I am a little stunned that she decided to take a break. Now, Candy's reasonings were they're taking a very long time to negotiate contracts and pretty much get everybody, casted and begin filming. She has a lot of other projects that are up and coming that, are going to get in the way. So she decided to take a break this upcoming season. She announced it when she was at the Grammys. So I'm like, wow, she really is taking a break. So, Mrs. Best, how do you feel Candy's break from Real Housewives of Atlanta is going to affect the viewing audience? Oh yeah.
I don't think it. No, I could hear you. My computer's just slow. I feel like good for her. It's time. No shade. I've been saying this. If y'all watch the recaps, Candy has not given anything for at least 5 seasons. She hasn't given us anything. If you're too busy to film with these women, then you shouldn't be a part of the show. And for me, it's not that I dislike Candy. It's just that she's too busy to interact with them properly as a cast member. I think she also got away with too much. Bravo seems to favor her. But separate from that, she's also boring. Like her family, their drama was interesting, or people coming for her, but Candy never really gave us anything.
As my girl Shayna said, long overdue, Real Housewives of Atlanta needs a recast. And I heavily agree with you on that. So speaking of recast, they decided to go in a direction that I didn't think Bravo would ever go, but is brilliant. And this is allegedly, because neither one of them have confirmed that they have been casted. And if you know what I'm talking about, and if you pay attention to the blogs, you understand that I am talking about Portia and Kenya. Let me give it to Cedric right quick. It's been reported by several different outlets, Media Takeout, Page Six, that Portia and Kenya were asked back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, neither one of them have confirmed finalizing their contracts, but I was shocked to even have the idea of Portia coming back. And then I also was shocked that Kenya has really spoke highly of Portia coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I felt like for me, these two probably were the least ones I thought would come back. And mainly, I feel like if they're not getting along, I don't really want them to be fighting. Like, I just felt like that's when I don't like them, is when they fight with each other. So, how do you feel, Mrs. Best, about Portia and Kenya being the first two to be asked back? And do you think they're going to ask anybody else from that collective circle back?
Okay, so Kenya, I understand her being there because though her dating life and her divorce took forever, at the very least, Kenya will share updates and be open about what's going on in her life. As for Portia, I kind of agree with what Shayna's saying. I knew Portia would come back. I really don't get the fans' obsession with her, though. She doesn't tell the truth, she lies. And when she's not doing that, she's unhinged, behaving like a 22 to 25-year-old will behave. But we got to remember Portia's big age. So I don't know. I feel like when Portia left, it definitely something left with her for the show. But I think it's just like what Shayna said. Also, they need a recast because Portia leaving shouldn't have left such a big like void. If that makes
It
sense.
shouldn't. It left a huge impact. You could tell that Bravo really was counting on her to bring the drama and the shakeups and everything with this cast and be the center of all of the drama. And I just felt like that's a huge responsibility because when she left the show, that part of her left with, that part of Portia left with it. And I felt like and this is all across all of the Bravo housewife shows, I feel like the fact that they put that responsibility all on one person is messed up in the first place. We saw it with Monica on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're seeing it with Candace and Wendy on Real Housewives of Potomac. I'll throw Aneka in there too. We're seeing this with Sutton on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're always appointing one person to get the party started, and that's not really fair when it comes to that person because they're not probably getting the bigger piece of the pie of the money. So I feel like that's not fair for y'all to do that to them. So yeah, I'm not shocked by Portia coming back, but I'm shocked that it was Portia and Kenya that were the first deciding factors. I would have never saw that coming. And if they do finalize their contracts and come back, I just hope that they're not beefing. Like I would rather see them get along and actually reattempt a friendship and beef with the other new ones if that's what they do. No
Well,
word
maybe
on.
that's why they asked. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Maybe that's why they asked for them back. Hopefully, what you're saying is what they're actually going to do, because I've always felt like Portia and Kenya could have gotten along if the other cast members weren't in the middle of their shit, instigating, causing problems. So they could latch together and become a dynamic duo. You never know.
They could change the whole dynamic if they really did get along. Now, out of all the housewives that we have not heard has been asked back, who do you think will join them to? That's already been on the show.
Oh.
Shane, I want you to answer this one as well. Who do you think they're going to bring back out of the ensemble cast from any past season? It can be from the beginning stage of season 1 through 5, or it can be when Portia and Kenya came back. Season, what is that, 5 through 13? Who do you think they're going to bring back?
I don't know. I mean, I guess this is the sad thing about the rest of the cast. They're kind of, no shade, useless.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other half of them who don't really give anything, fans don't like Marlo. So I don't know. I feel like that's probably why these two were axed back first. What I will say, just as a side note, Portia, if your black ass come back, do not think you're going to come back and not be able to talk about your relationship. We need to know. We don't care that y'all are doing well now. What's happening? I want you to discuss the fact that you did snatch a husband away for somebody. Now, I just want her to acknowledge it because that's why she left the show. She didn't want to be questioned about it.
So I know that's why yeah. I agree with that. If Portia does come back full time, I need Portia to expound on how that happened in the first place. But is she going to be honest and say how it did happen? Because I don't feel she's going to be honest. I feel like she's going to skate around it. We're just going to see where they are in today's time. So I don't know. For me, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I don't expect anything out of Portia but drama. That's all I expect out of her. Now, as far as casting members who I think they're going to ask back, I have a feeling they're going to ask Marlo back. I just do. I feel like the network protects her a lot of the time. So I feel like they're going to ask Marlo back. I don't see them asking Sheree back, but they may do just to spite us.
Not just to spite us.
No, I do. I feel like they're going to ask her back to spite us. I feel like, and I know this is a stretch because I know she would say yes if the opportunity granted itself, but I honestly could see Drew coming back for some reason. I see Drew coming back. We know Sanya's not coming back. You know who else I think they would bring back just to spite us as well? As I feel like they would bring Kim Zolciak back. And I don't know how I would feel about that if Kim Zolciak were to come back.
Kim Zolciak needs Gamblers Anonymous. She does not need. She does not need Bravo, but I do and can see them bringing her back. I have thought about that myself, so I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
great minds delight.
So that's who I have so far, y'all. I see them bringing Marlo back. I see them bringing Drew back. But I also feel like they're going to do a curveball and bring Kim Zolciak back. And that would be freaking crazy.
Especially for Sheree. I feel like they'll do that if they keep Sheree. But I also feel like Sheree's kind of like Dorit before on Beverly Hills before the scandal with Erica. They wasn't going to bring her ass back, and she got lucky. So they just need to take. I don't want Sheree back. That's what I'm saying.
I don't either. So that's why I'm like, I hope they don't bring Sheree back. I feel like that needs to be history because Sheree didn't do shit when she was on the show, had a fake ass relationship. It was already exposed that her clothing line wasn't hers, and the dude who actually did the designs outed her already. So what do we need Sheree for? So yeah, I don't want Sheree back, but I'm gonna pose this to the viewers: who do y'all want to see come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta outside of Portia and Kenya, who is already being alleged to already sign their contracts? I want to know, who do y'all think they'll bring back aside from them, or do you think they'll get a whole new cast and have them be the centers? We'll see how this works out. I'm really excited, and hopefully they don't do us wrong. Bravo in that call center. I'm not playing with y'all. Don't bring Sheree back. Do not do that. But moving it along from Atlanta, we're going to take a dive all the way to Potomac. This next story, y'all, was a shoe-in win. I am very happy because let me tell y'all something. This mofo don't deserve. Hold on one second. I thought I had. There it is. Okay, I thought I lost it for a second. This mofo don't deserve not a damn thing from this lady. Boom. These two. So people's actually covering the story. So Candace's lawsuit, or Michael Darby's lawsuit against Candace Dillard Bassett, has been dismissed. It was first filed on February 15, 2023. A dismissal with prejudice was issued in the court case on January 3rd. With the final order entered on January 31st, Michael, the court determined, was precluded from maintaining a lawsuit against Dillard Bassett because on a release that he signed to appear on the Bravo reality series. So saved by the Bravo cameras, y'all. She won her lawsuit against Michael Darby, which he shouldn't have filed in the first place. Because what she was alleging wasn't like it was, or was she even alleged? What she said wasn't stuff that wasn't already out there about him. So I just feel like, yeah.
Waste of the court's time.
Mm-hmm.
Waste
Candace,
of time.
Yeah. Candace, I hope you made him pay your lawyer fees for wasting your time too. Because that's what I would if I'm sued, if I ever get sued, like God forbid, because I don't want to. But if that happens, you're paying my lawyer fees for wasting my time and wasting their time too. Because there's no way that should have happened. And we'll talk about this in Real Housewives of Potomac, but this just proves to me like this was a preconceived notion that he was going to do this to make some kind of example for all the rest of the cast members who were trying to say things about him. I know Giselle.
I feel like the timing of the lawsuit being jumped is important. I feel like timing is everything in life. And it's interesting that he drops the lawsuit at a time where fans don't want Ashley on the show, don't want Giselle on the show,
he didn't drop it. It was dismissed by a judge. He didn't drop it.
Dismissed, whatever the fuck. The timing is impeccable. I don't trust it. I feel like portions and the reason for the lawsuit, I feel like Ashley probably is one of the people who talked him into it, convinced him to, because I don't think they're divorcing. I mean, they're
allegedly. We have to say allegedly on that one because we don't know if she did or not. But what I'm gonna say about Ashley is because she was on Watch What Happens Live and says that or was it this episode? She said somewhere that she's not really ready to let Michael go just yet. And she's saying that she was homeless with her mom and stuff, so she has trauma. She thinks of her kids, and I'm just like,
so she was on Watch. Your trauma caused you to be a gold digger who wants to stay with whichever man is the richest because you don't want to go backwards to being homeless. It's sad that she never thought to herself, well, maybe I could get a job and take care of myself.
Or it
It's
makes me
so odd.
wonder how much was that house for you to be in a position to where you still need this man's money at the end of the day, and that child support would not be enough to sustain you because they make good money. They're on
They
season
do.
8 of Real Housewives of Potomac. They make good money, so it
Well,
makes me
that's
wonder
where
how
you
much
question Ashley. She's a goddamn dingbat. I done said it before. Because if I'm married to somebody worth $20 million, allegedly, like Michael Darby, best believe every time that man hands me money to go buy some food, I'm keeping the change. I'm asking for an allowance. I'm doing everything. Don't laugh. I'm serious as a fucking heart attack. Y'all think I'm playing. I give
She
flying
said,
fuck.
"I'm keeping the
I'm
change."
keeping the change because this isn't just like,
No,
regular
she,
time shit. He's handing her like stacks of hundreds, and you didn't
yeah.
put nothing to the side in the mattress. What's wrong with you,
I'm
girl?
just saying, like, I don't understand how you were married to a millionaire and didn't think about your future. Like, you're supposed to prepare yourself for the bullshit. There's no way you would have thought that that man was going to keep you after. When a man has been married before, y'all ladies, listen to me. When a man has been married before and gets divorced, he is not afraid of divorcing twice because he's smarter now. He knows exactly what to say. He knows exactly how to hide his money. He knows exactly what to do with the assets. Y'all have to tuck money away in those instances. It's not like you, the first wife, and he's making all the mistakes with you. No, he's been prepared. You was just the dummy that fell for it, and you
Yeah.
didn't think to dot your I's and cross your T's. So now you stuck with him, and that's why I said I want to know how much this house was because there's no way I don't think Ashley can afford this. Like she can afford this mortgage by herself. There's something else. Like I'm sorry, unless that house was $3 to $4 million, I don't believe that Ashley is really just destitute for money to make sure that she's taken care of. There's something else with this. I'm not buying it. But congratulations to Candace because I thought that was way beyond the extreme that what Michael did. But I could give Candace too much credit because the next thing she does pissed me off to the extreme because Candace, you one of my favorite housewives. You were probably number 6 on the list of top 10. I don't know why you did in this next segment what you just said, but you need to come correct. You need to clean this up, Candace. We're not playing with you. But I'm gonna play it for y'all. This snippet of what Angela Yee on her Way Up podcast or radio show, whatever this is. She asked Candace a very good question, and this is how Candace answered it. So let's take a look at this.
Colorism issues. Do you think there are colorism issues on Real Housewives of Potomac?
So, as I said at the reunion last year, I personally cannot say that any of my castmates are colorist. Do I think that colorism exists in our universe? Yes. Do I think that acknowledging that it exists could be a start to moving forward? Yes. And that is all that I was asking for was acknowledgement from these very intelligent, very astute, very woke women. They purport themselves to be very woke women, to just have an acknowledgement that colorism is a mantle that exists and should be torn down. And some of them could not do that. That was disappointing. But I honestly regret that I even brought it up because we clearly are not equipped as a group to have a healthy discussion about colorism.
Right.
And
But the
I
fans
have to
are
be okay
doing
with
it.
that. The fans are doing it. I love our fans because I think Potomac has some of the most intelligent fans. They love to write think pieces on the people, me being the people, and on all of us. And I think it takes this little reality show to another level. It really is a part of pop culture. It's
You
a
know
part
what?
of
That's all I can eat. That's all I can stomach. So I'm gonna say this. I get her answer was a safe answer because I'm sure somebody in the Bravo call center, one of those executives, called her and said, "Candace, you need to let this go. You need to let this go, or it's this check. Make a choice." And I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I get that her answer wasn't denying the colorism, but there were examples that she could have used that could have said maybe it's not overt colorism, but there have been moments where certain cast members have gotten away with inappropriate behavior, and I wasn't afforded that same opportunity. And it looks and it appears that that could be the only reason. She had plenty of examples to say, this was my experiences, this was Wendy's experience with it. Had we did what they did, I think the repercussions would have been more overtly terminated. That's all she had to say. So I kind of was upset with Candace because I felt like to take back that statement like that, you're giving the network what they want. And we want the colorism addressed on this show. We want certain people to be accountable for how they treat other people that were the darker complected women on the cast. So for y'all to actually for Candace to actually say that, you're now giving them what they want, which is to downplay that this is actually happening. How did you feel, Mrs. Best?
If you're going to say and make accusations against people that are basically, Candace is the same thing. Like Giselle says some shit about Chris, tried to allege it, and she didn't like that. She's like, certain accusations you don't make. I think the same thing applies on the other end, no matter how much we dislike Giselle specifically. I don't feel like Giselle herself is colorist. I've always felt personally, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, like Robin is the culprit, or Ashley, especially with how they responded when discussing colorism at the previous reunion. They just could not accept that term, were so against it, and responded in a way that was uncouth, especially for somebody in front of media. I don't think Giselle's colorist, just based on the very, very chocolate dicks that she's put up in her, as well as the fact that her daughters are chocolate as well. I feel like Ashley, Robin, them two, that might be something with them. No shade to them, but I don't feel Giselle is that. I think Giselle is awful, and the definition of misery loves company. But I don't think she's colorist. But at the same time, Candace, you sat there and said your white-looking ass to Giselle, who really don't look white. Robin do, to me, but Giselle not so much. You made that statement. You had so much passion behind it. You're hollering the statement to her as you're married to a white man yourself. The last thing you want to do is be flip-floppy when it comes to matters of race, diversity, or anything like that. So I agree with you. She dug a hole. She could have spoken on it differently. And I'm someone who's very, very chocolate. I have a very dark complexion. I'm not insecure about it or any of that. So I feel like the people who often experience colorism the most or vocalize it are the people who are darker. And even I can sit here and be like, girl, now just because that woman is light-skinned with a turkey neck, okay? Her neck is an uncooked turkey neck. That doesn't mean that she's hating on you because of your skin color. Giselle is an equal opportunity hater. This bitch hates on everybody. She talks shit about everybody. She's not loyal to anybody, not even Robin. So I don't think she colorist. Candace, though, she needs to just be quiet. I agree with you the most there. Stop talking about it, please.
Well, if she's gonna talk about it, just stand on it. I would stand 10 toes down on my experience because she's experienced in many different ways her being reprimanded when the other cast members, and I'm talking about Mia, has not gotten the same repercussions that other women have gotten, like Wendy. So I feel like to exclude that of your original statement, it was kind of like, wow, what a stab in the back. Just saying. But moving on from there, y'all, because I don't want to put too much emphasis on it, but Candace disappointed me with that, and I hope she cleans us up by the reunion. Just saying. The last thing I want to talk about, since we got on to Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac, I want to talk about the Married to Medicine news. And boy, this one was a lot. So we all know who Buffy Purcell was. She was a friend of the show. I believe she was on season 8, if I'm not mistaken, or season 7. It was one of the two. Since leaving the show, Buffy has been very vocal on these YouTube streets about her experience on Real Housewives of Potomac. Married to Medicine, particularly when it comes to Dr. Jackie outing her infertility issues in front of a room full of people at a book launch event. So every moment that we see, it seems like every year, Buffy is making some headlines somewhere outing Dr. Jackie, and she is not taking her foot off of these ladies' necks. Now,
She should be busier. I will say that it's tax season, Buffy. That's what I'm doing right now, y'all. That's why I'm not on camera. It is tax season. You should be booked and busy and not having the time to be on the internet episode after episode that airs of this season of Married to Medicine, hooping and hollering. What do you want from these women? That's what I want to know. Do you want to
I
come
don't
back
know
on
what
the
she
show?
wants either. Yeah, I don't know what she wants either. It's just really weird. But instead of Dr. Jackie being in her crossfire, she decided to go after another fellow Doctor cast member or former cast member of the show, i.e., Dr. Contessa. So this is what she had to say about Dr. Contessa. So I'm going to share my screen once again with you guys. She had an interview with Oliver Twix from the Chasing Reality series, and he also works for Dr. Heavenly and also the ladies as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play this snippet, and we're going to talk about it.
At that point, everybody was outside, and she was like, come in the house, and we went downstairs in her closet, and she was about to fix my makeup. Real sister, nice black girl, like, I got your back, I understand kind of moment. And next thing I know is clunk, 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 Bigfoot Contessa bringing her ass downstairs. She's still crying. What are you still crying about? You need to get yourself together and da da da. And I'm like, bitch, you was crying about your husband not supporting you go to school. I'm crying about my dead children. And you yelling at me and telling me to get myself together. And at that point, my last miscarriage was 2 years before I was on that show. And so I was getting things like, you should be over that by now. I was getting like, no, and like, y'all black, like, that's why black women don't talk to each other about that shit, because we have this stupid thing where we have to be sharp as iron and strong as steel, and it's killing us. It's okay to have human emotions. So anyway, she did all that, and I lost it. I couldn't believe she grabbed my neck and was screaming at me, and she said something really horrible to me. She, was like, get down on the floor and let me rock you like the babies you'll never have. Like, y'all didn't, they cut all that out. Like, these women really went for the,
Contessa said that?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. She said it. There's no, I'm not saying alleged shit. This shit happened. I dare a bitch to sue me. I will tear everybody ass up. I didn't say no.
Well, goddamn. So Buffy came swinging, and I was shocked.
Buffy is the example and the reason why I be telling y'all on these lives I could never do reality TV, because she is me and I is her, and that was a vibe. She said, I ain't alleging shit.
She said it. So, in true Dr. Contessa forms, she couldn't let that slide. Dr. Contessa responded. So we're going to share what Dr. Contessa said.
For the lawsuit, so let's give her one. Fortunately, there were about 10 people in that room, and all of them are going to be called as witnesses in this defamation lawsuit. You don't get to say anything you want, especially when it comes to there was absolutely footage. So, challenge accepted. Let's see how rich you really are.
All right. So, Dr. Contessa said, let's see how rich you really are. Challenge accepted. So, she's going to file a lawsuit against Buffy Purcell on this crazy matter.
Contessa forgets that here's the thing, Buffy she does a lot, and it's kind of weird that she takes the time and energy to talk about these women that she don't like, she's not cool with. Obviously, she's watching the show. She's posting it to her YouTube. So you're profiting off of these women in some way because she is monetized. I understand, like, if you're doing like an episode recap and then you're talking about, your experience as to how it relates to something we may have seen on TV. But And I did feel her with the I Am the Legend shit, and I do believe her. But
Hmm.
it is a little much for Buffy to be doing this constantly. But I don't view it as defamation, and I don't think a judge will either, especially when they subpoena NBC Universal Bravo for the footages.
So I agree with you, but I also want to play something that Contessa did that may actually validate what you just alleged or what you just said. So let's play part 2 of Dr. Contessa going off. So I'm going to share my screen again, and then we're going to watch. So let's see what we got here.
And I told her from my heart an empathetic story about my experience as a woman who lost several children. And one I actually had to fucking bury. So you lying ass bitch. You know where to find me, Chastain Integrative Medicine, and you said, should I sue you based on that dumb shit? Because again, I didn't say it. And if I did say that, everyone would have been like, gasp. Oh my God, who would say such a thing? You would have heard it before and they would have played it. So I am going to come back to who I am. I'm quite sure my husband is going to be furious that I even responded. But when it comes to, I finished medical school in 1998. I am a 100% service-connected Navy veteran. I'm a physician. I'm a mother of 3 live children. But my first child also matters. And I shared that very personal story with you. And for you to take that, again, move on with your life, sis. Ain't nobody out here trying to take over your life, ain't trying to ruin you. And if you didn't get what you needed from Married to Medicine, that has nothing to do with anyone who has ever been a part of that cast. Take that up with NBC Universal and Bravo. But don't be out here trying to destroy the rest of us because you didn't get what you needed from whatever you were doing that season. Share your real life. Be whoever the fuck you really are. And literally, if it's interesting, it is. If it's not, it's not. And if you have now decided that this is what I should have been and this is what I should have shown, then, oh, sorry. But I did not say that. And y'all, I don't care all this.
Yeah, that made me.
Ugh. Lord.
Let me just say
Contessa.
this. Don't nobody be fooled by that woman's tears because she threw shade about exactly what she was defending. She is on this live hollering and crying about Buffy potentially saying, Buffy said that Contessa said to her, I'll rock you like the babies you wish you had, right? Contessa gets on the live mad about that. That's strike one. Why are you so defensive if you didn't say it? Right? Then 2, you're crying and hollering. We saw Contessa do this last year with Heavily on a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
She can cry when she needs to cry. Then, in addition to that, you say while going off, my 3 live children. Well, if you say you have 3 children, we know that they are alive because you're going to specify if your child is deceased or miscarried or looking down on you from above. That lady told on herself while doing that. If you didn't make a comment like what Buffy is alleged, then why would your brain go to that same space that is similar to the comment to throw shade at her while you're in tears defending yourself about it? You didn't have to say your 3 live children in that pause. Even my husband in the background is like, oh, that's telling. Like that girl, Contessa is manipulative. And it's so easy for audiences to be manipulated by people on TV because we're just not there to know the full story. But I don't believe her. I just don't believe her. Is to have that level of anger against someone and you're not even on the show interacting with these women like that. What I'm gonna say is I think Contessa's tears weren't about her miscarriage. I think a lot of women do this. I've had miscarriages before, multiples with my spouse. And I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't go off on people, wasn't acting a fool, wasn't doing all these extra stuff. And don't use you can't compare your experience as a woman having a miscarriage or losing a child to anyone else's, because even though we all can bond along the fact that there's pain that comes with it, everyone's pain is different, impacts them differently. So we can't use that as a weapon against people or as a reason to make ourselves look innocent. And those are the bitches I don't trust. So I believe Buffy, but I don't like how Buffy's moving. I think that without Buffy, she should learn to just be quiet and comment on the things that are going to come out about the cast, like what happened with Jackie, and leave it there. Because what goes on the dark always comes to the light. It just does. So both of these women are crazy.
I agree. And I just feel like for me, I don't believe Contessa either. And I say that because of what you just mentioned, this switch up on Heavenly. I felt like I was disappointed in her because there is a way, if it was really, and I don't know who it was, so I'm going to say alleged. If it really was Dr. Scott putting it in your ear that, hey, you need to cut ties with Heavenly because she's dangerous and what she said, Heavenly never said anything on her YouTube channel that would have been that detrimental against Scott, if that's really what it was, or against you. In fact, I watched all the lives, including the 2 that you were on. And I just felt like Dr. Contessa was really just choosing the side of her man to make him happy versus learning how to compartmentalize. Okay, my friend says this because this is how she feels. And she has an entitled to feel, she's entitled to feel this way because 1, we're on a reality TV show. And 2, I was on her YouTube channel doing the exact same thing she was doing. So no, because of that, I don't believe Dr. Contessa. I believe Buffy. And let's not act like Contessa don't do the most. We've seen it on TV. She does the most. So yeah,
I don't trust a bitch that'll talk shit about her husband to the extent that she did. It wasn't just her venting for true Married to Medicine fans. She downed that man, like really got at him. And then she got at the people who supported her through what she had said about Scott. I'll never trust Contessa after.
And then embrace the one woman who was talking about her badly. That's what I don't get about her. It was like, what kind of reverse psychology is this? Like, how are you gonna befriend the one person that was getting at you the most for the past 3 seasons, and then you down your friends who actually had your back?
Because like she thought that what she was doing was gonna keep her on that show, and then her husband turned around because she said, and he's gonna be pissed that I even responded. Let me tell you this.
We know
that lady is not on the show, not because she doesn't want to be on the show. She's not on that show, I think, because of her man's. So I just want Contessa to go away.
I feel like
find the woman of your dreams.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Go find the woman of your dreams. I've dated women, nothing to be embarrassed about. They're wonderful.
Go get the doctor that was on the LA season. Go get her, because y'all are meant to be. I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't feel like her coming after me too. I'm gonna say allegedly, but no, the chemistry between you and the other I don't know her, I don't remember her name, but the chemistry that you 2 had was undeniable. So you need to go back and go get her. Go get that doctor and stop playing. Because I tell y'all all the time, Contessa gives me such, like, when I tell you I see the vibes in her, like, it is strong. And at first I didn't see it until I was watching Bondi Blue. Shout out to Bondi Blue on YouTube. I didn't see it at first, but when Bondi Blue pointed something out, it was like one of those seasons where Scott's cousins were the nannies or stuff. There was a lesbian couple. And on one of them episodes, Contessa's titty popped out. And I said, I said, wait, what? How did that even happen? Because it's not like her shirt was loose. So I was like, oh, and when Bondi pointed it out, I said, you right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Because it was weird. So yeah, she definitely gives me vibes, like she does. And I just wish she would be honest. Robin is another one. Robin Dixon. She is another one. I want her to be honest with herself. Because I think that's the real reason why she's just so down and depressed. Y'all, it's a real thing. I tell y'all, that depression is something else. But anyways, that's all of the news I have for everybody. That is what's going on in this world today in the Bravo land. The Bravo celebrities are acting up, and I don't know what to say about it. I just cannot wait to see how this all turns out. we're going to go ahead and move it on to get into the TV shows now. I want to thank everybody for being here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, like, comment, and subscribe. We do this every week. So I'm going to end this live, and I'm going to come back to you guys with Real Housewives of Potomac. You don't want to miss it. Thank you once again. I'll see you guys on the next next video, guys. Bye.